Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm here today. I got my Stylecraft Ergos. To me, these are probably the best clippers I've ever used. I'm going to show you guys how to take the blades off properly, how to clean them, how to adjust them if you need to. I'm also going to show you how to pop the faceplate off, and I'm going to show you guys how to kind of change those pieces out. If you guys have bought any Ergos before, Gamma Plus or Stylecraft, they usually come with interchangeable faceplates. I'll kind of show you guys how to take those apart and reassemble them. But what I'll also be showing you guys, excuse me, is how to pop this off and how to clean the inside of the casing as well. So let's jump into it. All right, guys, let's jump into this. I have my screwdrivers, I have my brushes, I have my clippers, of course, I have the blade oil, and I use a cloth towel like this because whenever I'm popping the screws out, no matter where I'm popping them out from, this kind of absorbs the impact of them falling out, so that way I don't have to chase them down later. I'm going to start off by removing these two mounting screws right here to the blade. See what I mean? You just let them fall. I don't have to chase them down. Now, these clippers have been used a lot. These are kind of my workhorse clippers. I use these pretty much every day. I've been using some caliber 44 mag FMJs or whatever they're called anymore, but it's because I just bought them and I thought I would try them out, give them their proper kind of testing. But I've never seen any clippers beat these Ergos here. So, getting into the maintenance part, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna move this back a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and use the big brush for the bulk of the hair. We're gonna remove as much as possible from here. I do slide the adjusting lever forward a little bit just so I can get into this little gap right here. Close it back up. And if you guys don't know the difference between open and closed just yet on your clippers, if it's close, it's closed. If it's out, it's open. That's the easiest way to remember it. I'm going to set those off to the side here. I'm going to take these individual blades and clean them off separately. Again, using the big brush here. I believe this is just like an old color brush. I had it for a while. I just started using it for cleaning my clippers out. Found it was better use for that. Now, I can't quite get in here too thoroughly just because of the fact that the bristles are a little bit bigger. But I can kind of go through and knock a majority of this loose hair off. And like I've said in my other videos, I know everyone craps on these little brushes like this, but this is what they're there for. Don't just throw them away as soon as you get them because you just feel like it's something you're never going to use. If you're never using one of these, you're probably giving people a nasty infection. So clean your stuff. So again, I'm just kind of thoroughly deep cleaning these little cracks and crannies right here. So if you guys didn't catch my other video where I adjusted the Protege trimmers, if you guys haven't broken your clippers apart before, pretty much every Stylecraft clipper that I've dealt with has the spring-loaded blade right here. So you got the two little pinholes for your spring to set into. And if you guys have never experienced trying to hold the clippers down with one hand and put screws in, oh, this will be a fun one. So again, using this big brush, I'm getting the bulk of everything removed. And I'm trying to flick it away from where I'm working at because I don't want to be cleaning these off, getting these all nice and clean, and then coming in and catching the hair that I just brushed off of it. So now I have these two blades here. These are clean. We're good. I'm going to set these off to the side. Now I'm going to show you guys how to pull the faceplate off, how to change that out if you want to. There's 4 screws in the back. There's one here. I know it's kind of hard to see, but we got one here in the left, right, and then at the bottom left and right. Let's back these out. Some of these might not drop straight out, so you should be okay. But you can see it's already starting to kind of pull apart here. And all I have are these last 2 screws here. That one actually came out. No big deal. Once we actually get the faceplate all pulled apart, it's gonna pretty much drop the screws out no matter what. So top ones didn't, no big deal. So, to change the faceplate out, you have these 2 separate pieces here. You have your bottom faceplate and you have this little like thumb piece right here. All it is you remove these 2 screws right here and this one in the center. Change out this center faceplate. Sometimes they have like a clear blue, pink, or the black one, or if it is the Gamma Plus, I believe it's gold, silver, black, and clear as well. But the only difference really is just the color scheme. I don't know that you can switch the Ergo X faceplates out with the Stylecraft ones. So what I mean by that is the Gamma Plus ones, I'm not for sure are compatible. I haven't tried it, but I would sure love to. So as you guys can see, I'm just kind of brushing out the faceplate, because what ends up happening is, you guys can see, this is where the blade goes. This is your motor right here. Sometimes this little styrofoam piece does not stop every single thing from getting in there. It helps a lot to not just collect a bunch of hair in your engine or your motor compartment. But get in there, try and clean it your best as possible. Again, these small brushes, this is where they come in clutch. All it is there is just kind of getting that all loose and getting it all brushed out. Now, one thing I would not recommend is spraying the motor itself with any Cool Care or Clipper side, whatever you guys are using. So just be wary of that. So now I have that all cleared out. Excuse me. I have one screw, didn't quite fall out, no big deal. So now I'm gonna close this faceplate down. I'm not cranking it in. I do have it tight enough to where this piece will not separate again. I'm going to start with this piece right here on the right. Again, just tightening it enough to where it's just in place. I'm not trying to crank it down. I'm not trying to do that just yet. And the reason for it is because sometimes, and it's something I've encountered, where you've cranked one screw down and then all of a sudden you're having an issue with all the other holes lining up. It happens. So again, just tight enough to where I can say that it's not gonna come loose. Now that we have the last screw in, we're gonna tighten these down as tight as we can without cranking them, because this is a plastic case, and if this breaks, I know that there's other ones that come with your setup, but if this is a color scheme you want to go with, it's not going to be fun whenever you break this and you can't actually use it. So now that we have the clipper thoroughly cleaned out, now remember, like I was saying earlier, you have these two springs right here. They have to line up with this hole and that hole. As soon as you get those kind of in place, now you just want to get the blade itself kind of lined up with this little saddle piece right here. And from there, it's just lining those up. What I'm gonna do now is, before I start putting the rest of the blades on, or the adjusting blade, I'm gonna run a bead of oil across the teeth here. Now, I'm gonna run a bead across this blade here and this back piece here. I'm gonna also use a clean corner of the towel here, so that way I can get it to just wipe off any of the excess oils that are kind of just pouring out of there. So like I was mentioning earlier, you have to kind of hold some pressure down on this back blade until you can get one of these screws kind of inserted. And again, I'm not going until I crank it all the way down. I'm just tightening it enough to where it's not going to be springing out and being a pain in the ass. So I want it to be just loose enough to where, if you guys can see this, I can close this and I can still wiggle this back blade here. This is where I'm gonna kind of run through. I'm gonna check down the line right here. I like mine to be a little bit closer to factory setting, so I'm not zeroing these out. but I am keeping them a little bit closer. So now that I've looked down the side from this edge to here, I can see that there's an even spacing on the blades. Now I turn these, set these in. Well, these are dead, but right now is where you would actually test these. But I'm looking at the blade setting, and there's still enough room that I'm not going to be cutting anyone with the cutting blades. So we are good on this, and that is the end of this tutorial. If there's any questions, feel free to comment, and I'll get right back to you. Hey guys, thank you for checking out my video. Stylecraft Ergos, these are probably the best clippers that I've ever used. So they're very high power. They cut through just about any type of hair, and I've yet to have any real issues with them, other than maybe like the battery life kind of being not bad, but sometimes, like, you know, I didn't charge them overnight and they're dead. So, you know, again, I hope this tutorial helped you guys. So if you guys need any help, feel free to comment. And then if you guys like and subscribe my page too, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much.